Hi, I'm Michael Southard, Fire Chief of Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue. I'd like to take a moment to address a topic of interest in our community. We've recently become aware of questions regarding the staffing of our fire stations and the perception of how that may affect response times. The safety of our residents and visitors of Palm Beach Gardens is of the utmost importance to us. The process for determining appropriate staffing for the fire stations and the fire rescue system is a complex topic. Here to expound on that topic for us is the Division Chief of EMS, James Ippolito.
Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue is comprised of 5 fire stations. Each station has 1 fire engine and 1 ambulance. Should our system become too taxed, units from nearby fire stations will move into the city and staff our fire stations in cooperation with our automatic mutual aid agreement. Each fire engine is staffed with 3 personnel, and each ambulance is staffed with 2 personnel. There is a minimum of 1 paramedic on each fire engine and each ambulance at all times. This equals a total of 5 people at each fire station. At times, Station 64 is staffed with 3 personnel. During the times that Station 64 is staffed with 3 personnel, should an emergency happen within Station 64's area, the closest unit from Station 64 would respond to that area, and if needed, additional units can respond from nearby fire stations to assist that crew. In the rare event of a simultaneous call within Station 64's area, a nearby fire station would respond to that emergency. And should there be a third emergency within the city, again the closest unit would respond, and the transport unit from a nearby fire station would also respond. This shuffling of fire apparatus and ambulances happens throughout the city all day long. And again, should the system become too taxed, apparatus from nearby agencies can come into the city and staff our fire stations. Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue is an internationally accredited agency. We are the only accredited agency in Palm Beach County. We are one of only 20 accredited agencies in Florida and one of only 187 accredited agencies in the world. In order to achieve accreditation, 258 individual performance indicators must be met. Response times are a large part of achieving accreditation. We are able to achieve accreditation under our current response times. Last year, Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue earned the Mission Lifeline Award from the American Heart Association. We were the only agency in Palm Beach County to receive this award. Standards are based on how quickly EMS identifies, treats, and transports a heart attack victim to the hospital. In order to achieve this award, no single measurement can score below 75%. Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue scores greater than 90% on all measurements. This award is based on times and how quickly we can assess and transport a patient to a hospital. This award exemplifies that Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue is saving lives today. Last year, Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue had its first medical study published within the American Heart Association Journal of Medicine. The study was published in 2015 after a 2-year study implementing evidence-based resuscitation techniques. In 2014, Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue resuscitated 51% of cardiac arrest patients. During that same time period, the Florida state average was 16.7%. Let me say that again. In 2014, Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue resuscitated 51% of cardiac arrest patients. Of those patients, 29.4% were discharged from the hospital with full brain function. The national average is somewhere between 2 and 3%. In 2015, Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue had an average response time of 6 minutes and 28 seconds. Station 64 does have a slightly longer response time. To understand why Station 64 has a longer response time, we have to break down the components of a response. Station 64 also has the longest travel time. Station 64 has lots of gated communities and long stretches of driving that add to the response time. When Station 64 is available to respond to calls within their own zone, there is still an increase in travel time. In some instances, up to 1 minute and 30 seconds. Simply adding another unit will not decrease these response times, as travel distance, not the number of units, is the issue. As you can see, not every station is available to respond to their zone 100% of the time, and Station 64 is only slightly increased by 3 to 4% as compared to other fire stations. As per our accreditation, we clearly exceed our baseline response time of 8 minutes and 45 seconds, which we have to meet 90% of the time. In 2015, City Council approved funding for an independent staffing study. This firm will be evaluating every aspect of our fire department staffing. These recommendations will assist us in determining future staffing requirements throughout the fire department. We expect the results of this study before the fall of 2016.
I hope this brief presentation was of some use to you and that you were educated on our response times and the staffing of our stations here in the city of Palm Beach Gardens. Please feel free to contact us at any time should you have any questions. We will be more than glad to come out and discuss this with you and to address any questions or concerns you may have. We appreciate you taking the time and thank you for listening.